Gold fever's struck again. This time it's not some fabulous El Dorado in South America or the wild, wild west of the United States. It's happening in the heart of Africa, in Congo. Hundreds of thousands of dirt-poor Africans have been swept up in the madness, hoping to make their fortunes. A truly awesome sight. In great man-made craters, on mountainsides, in the rivers. Wherever you turn, it's on for young and old. A huge mass of people digging, panning, scratching for gold. But behind the spectacle, there's a dark side to this gold rush. A terrible curse which should make us all sit up and take notice. Deep in the Congo forest, about as far off the beaten track as you get, columns of desperate men and women are in search of buried treasure. It's truly amazing to see what human sweat, muscle and determination can achieve.
Congo is one of the richest countries in the world. It has gold, it has diamonds, it has copper, it has cobalt, it has uranium. You name it, Congo has it.
The most sought after is gold. But the Congo's immense natural wealth is also its tragedy. An industry based on terrible suffering and virtual slavery. Workers dig gargantuan holes, divert rivers, even move mountains, all by hand. But after all their back-breaking efforts, they'll see a pittance. The lion's share goes into the pockets of violent warlords and a motley cast of crooks and smugglers. And Australians may be unwittingly supporting it all. This is how it's done here in the Congo. An estimated 1.5 million men and women working away in mines like this. The dirt poor, toiling, sweating for their rich masters. The problem is, there is no way of knowing if the gold that comes out of a mine like this is the same stuff that's for sale in your local jewellery shop.
We are part of Congo's problem. We purchase these commodities. Gold is not being sold in the shops in Congo. It's being sold in places where Western people live, in markets where we go and buy it for the rings on our finger or the jewellery in our ears.
Anneke van Woudenberg is the lead African investigator for Human Rights Watch.
What we in fact discovered was the armed groups were making roughly $60 million a year.
She calls it the curse of gold, another chapter in a long and blood-soaked history.
When I look at Congo 100 years ago, there at that time it was a place that was used for its ivory and its rubber. Forced labor, people's hands being chopped off if they didn't actually produce the amount of rubber that they needed to produce for the colonial administrators. Today it's gold, but the abuses are often very similar and the suffering is very much the same.
Amidst the suffering, most people cling to strong Christian beliefs, another inheritance from colonialism. Pastor Marion Padongo ministers to hordes of desperate miners. Is the gold rush good for the Congo or bad for the Congo?
I think it's a good deal. People are doing nothing here, so I think if somebody can at least work and get money from what he's doing, that's very good.
Well, they're certainly working. They work incredibly hard, as we can see.
Yeah, it's hard work, I know.
And it's dangerous work. We watched men on a sheer, shifting slope trying to clear a landslide from a few days before. Pastor, these miners up here are really living life on the edge there, aren't they?
Yes. You know, the miners are very, very brave men. You know, they can't even get scared of all these things. I've been...
Brave or desperate?
I don't know how maybe I can say they are very crazy because I know this is very dangerous, you know. Even for me, I cannot go and sit down there. It's very risky.
High risk, but for the workers themselves, little return. A lot of miners work for nothing more than a bucket of dirt at the end of the day. If there's gold in it, they can keep it. At best, they can earn a few dollars a day. Men, women and children toil just to keep food on the table. For all your digging and sifting today, have you found any gold?
For today, I haven't get any gold.
Not. This woman has 3 children, including the baby.
I will still work again tomorrow because that's the only job I have. And that's how I can get my food.
All over again. Good luck. We hear a lot about blood diamonds, but here in Congo, it's blood gold. The gold plays a deadly role because it fuels a war that's been going on in this country for more than a decade, delivering pain and suffering, and as you can see, leaving hundreds of thousands of people homeless. And the remarkable thing is, we hear almost nothing about it.
I don't understand why Congo's not on the front pages of our newspapers, why it's not every day on the evening news. 5.4 million people have died since 1998. It is the deadliest war in the world since the Second World War, and most people don't even know about it.
The war started in this former Belgian colony after the genocide next door in Rwanda in 1994. 800,000 people were massacred. The killers fled across the border to Congo and commandeered the gold mines, setting off a complex and bloodthirsty civil war. The killings go on to this day, and the effects are heartbreaking. At one crowded orphanage, we met more than 100 children who'd lost their parents to the fighting, including these 2 brothers.
They killed all the people in the village, but they found the two boys among the dead bodies after 3 days.
After the 3 days.
So the boys had sat with their parents for 3 days while they were dead?
Parmi les cadavres.
Yes,
Between them.
among the dead bodies.
How many people have you killed?
Ata 20 balikufa.
Even 20 died when I was fighting.
At least 20?
Yep.
How many have you killed?
Now, wait.
Na mi vile ata ba 10 hivi.
Me, around 10 at least.
Two of the rebel fighters agreed to meet us in a cemetery. They told us their commanders forced them to fight and work in the gold mines, or be killed themselves.
We didn't want to do it. If we refuse, they will tie you to a tree and then shoot you.
The rebels have also waged another war, a war of rape and mutilation against Congo's women. The victims number in the hundreds of thousands. We were told that in this refugee camp, 8 out of every 10 women had been raped. How many women have you raped?
I had 2 women.
Women or girls?
One was 19 years old and another one was 17 years old.
Are you ashamed of that?
It is a regulation in the war to take a woman.
The aid workers say that for every 1 person killed in combat in this forgotten war, about 70 others die because of it. Many are children who succumb to preventable diseases. In this tiny coffin is the body of a young child who contracted malaria. It's a great paradox, one of the richest countries in the world for resources with some of the poorest people.
It is what is, of course, so surprising to many Congolese people and what I think eats away at them. They know that they actually live in this incredibly rich country, and yet they're cursed by those very resources. So many of the armed groups and the foreign armies come into Congo searching for those commodities, wanting to get rich, and the Congolese people just suffer.
It's taken years, but the Congolese army is slowly turning the tide on the rebels. Mongwalu, Congo's gold capital, was recently liberated, so it's safe for me to move around here. It's where miners come to splurge their meagre earnings. Then it's back to the mines to find more gold. Where are you taking me to now, Pastor?
We are going to the gold mine where people are moving under the ground for some 2, 3, 4, 5 kilometers. They can even walk for over 5 kilometers, like 10 kilometers, even 20, deep inside there. And you know it's very dangerous.
They work a long-abandoned network of fragile tunnels, built by the Belgians, chiseling away the mountain from inside out, rock by rock.
Some can even spend more than 1 day, even 3, 4, 5, 6 days under the ground. They cook down there, they eat down there, they spend the whole night there, and they down there for 3, 4, 5, 6 days.
Without coming out?
Without coming out, breaking rocks.
Oh. You have this on your back all day?
Unabeba is mzima kwa mgongo tu. Ni mzito, eh?
All day? All day like that? Oh. Right. It's all yours. But perhaps most perilous is the processing. Once the rocks are ground to dust, just take a look at how they extract the gold. That's mercury, the deadly, toxic heavy metal which binds the particles of gold into a tiny lump and is then burned away. Using mercury like this is prohibited around the world, but no one has told the miners here. I just saw these men pour the mercury into their hands, straight into the pores of their skin, before it went into the powder.
Yeah, they do that.
They don't know about mercury poisoning.
No, they are ignorant about that.
Every Monday, the miners bring their hard-won treasures to the gold market. And this is the great tragedy of Congo on display. Warlords, conmen and traders, mingling with desperate miners trying to scrape together a living. From here, it's smuggled to a world largely oblivious to its origins. And the people who worked so hard to find it will go out again and find some more.
We find it's the importers and the exporters who profit. And of course, it's the large multinational companies who purchase this and who sell it on who profit. It's not the people of Congo. I think what's incredible about Congo is the ability of its people to go on despite all of this. The joy, the creativity. I think we have a lot to learn from the Congolese, who live in a way that would be unimaginable for us, but yet they do, and they come through.
Hello, I'm Amelia Adams. Thanks for watching 60 Minutes Australia. Subscribe to our channel now for our brand new stories and exclusive clips every week. And don't miss out on our extra minute segments and full episodes of 60 Minutes on 9now.com.au and the 9Now app.